Hello, my friend. Welcome to our channel. In this video we are going to tell you about Bona. Lino Brocas Bona, 1980, featured an impressionable, obsessive young girl admirer who embodied idol worship culture. Although Bona was made 4 decades ago, the theme it conveys is still profoundly relevant today, as it unabashedly examines not only female subservience in patriarchal Filipino society but also the alienation and violence that would inevitably result in a society where repression is the dominant mode. The continuous importance of Brocas Bona in this context cannot be overstated. Since the work itself tends to replicate themes of institutionalized oppression, albeit in the guise of sociopolitical allegory, the movie opens with a scene familiar to most Filipinos, that of a mass of devotees, frequently barefoot, converging inside the navels of downtown Manila to have fun during the yearly translation in which the Black Nazarene is being pulled in a procession. Broca then cuts all of a sudden to a shot of Nora Aunor's face, fortunately beaming at the sideline, successfully implying parallelism between spiritual and celeb devotion. From the first few seconds of the movie, the pervading feel of adulation is felt. If you want to permeate the subsequent sequences, the movie introduces the object of Bona's obsession, Gardo Villa. Gardo, despite being a simple extra who is frequently underpaid, or worse, unpaid, has a swarm of followers following him around, yelling and cheering him on at every movie shoot or basketball game. On occasion, he would converse with his admirers as if they were his buddies. Gardo's desire for attention disguised as approachability encourages more admirers to actively pursue meeting him in person, notably Bona, who is willing to miss school or ignore domestic tasks simply to be with her idol. Bona is smitten with Gardo. Gardo is smitten by Gardo. Gardo enjoys sleeping with practically every woman he can entice. He even takes Bona to bed once, ostensibly for the lack of someone better, but the subject appears to have slipped his mind by the next morning. Bona is a solemn-looking woman who abandons school to follow her crush on the egotistical Gardo by moving in with him as a servant. According to Bona's irate father, Gardo is a second or third-rate performer in Philippine action films. The film's core motif is water. Bona's first important interaction with Gardo occurs during a downpour as they share an umbrella. As the film progresses, we learn that Gardo is a flesh and blood Don Juan, sleeping with each woman who offers herself. Despite this, Bona continues to blindly follow Gardo and even offers herself to be exploited as his personal assistant. She forgoes the pleasures of middle-class life with her parents in order to live with Gardo in a shack with no decent indoor plumbing. A young woman's fascination and devotion to a sleazy, attractive actor is comprehensible, so it's not unexpected that Bona is prepared to bring water so Gardo can take warm baths, that she scrubs his floors, mends his clothing, and cooks for him in the house they share in a poor area. Her daily habit of gathering and heating water for Gardo transforms her role from that of an infatuated fan to that of a maternal figure, filling in for Gardo's departed mother. In one scene, an inebriated Gardo misidentifies Bona as his mother while pleading for permission to go out with his buddies. The scenes in which Bona delicately scrubs and soaps Gardo's body are reminiscent of a mother gently bathing her child, conveying the idea that perhaps Gardo is just a child trapped in an adult's body. And his womanizing ways are manifestations of his longing to recreate his relationship with his mother. It seems strange that a man with Gardo's boldness would never take a cold bath. His preference for hot baths may evoke associations and memories from his childhood, when his mother was still living. But it is also clear from the start that Gardo is not a perfect human being. He is beaten up by the relatives of one of his women. He is a drunk. He brings home an assortment of other women. He disappears for extended periods of time. He leaves it up to Bona to arrange an abortion for one of his lovers. And finally, after Bona has been effectively disowned by her family, Gardo informs her that he is selling the house they share and going off with another woman, the water therefore serves as a metaphor for maternal care, which, when obtained from Katrina, a wealthy young widow whose donations much outnumber Bona's, Gardo abruptly shifts gears, casually informing Bona of his plans to relocate and sell the property. Most individuals would combust after just 5 minutes of Gardo. However, Bona needs around 90 minutes. And, given that she appears quite clever and sensitive and is attentive to Gardo's slights from the start, the writing and directing of Bona must be criticized for failing to provide theatrically valid justification for her patience. Bona is no longer a self-effacing martyr fan towards the end of the film. She has outgrown being a pushover and, ultimately, resorts to doing exactly the reverse of what her name implies. Bona is an Italian name, meaning good. As a result, the latter loses control and hurls hot water at the greedy and opportunistic Gardo. The picture is unfinished, but there's a good chance Gardo perished in agony, bathed in hot water from Bona's hands. Braca punctuates Bona's struggle in her act of vengeance, which is nevertheless restricted and constrained in that it only provides momentary relief from her self-imposed servility. Though Bona finally came to her senses and recovered agency, the patriarchal systems that around her nevertheless influence her choices. She would not have recognized how terrible her decisions were if her brother had not shunned her at their father's funeral. If her respected idol Gardo hadn't carelessly booted her out of the shanty when she had just been disowned by her family and had nowhere else to go, she wouldn't have understood she was being taken advantage of. Bona is most fascinating as an example of Philippine filmmaking and for its glimpses of life in Bona and Gardo's neighborhood. Braca's affection for and focus on depicting the underprivileged in Bona and many of his films reflects his belief in cinema as a tool for social change. This radical idea of film accepted by Braca and his sympathies with the proletariat appear to be in accordance with Marxist philosophy, in which there is a proactive endeavor to portray communal reality while cutting a concurrent attempt to propose solutions to ameliorate such realities. The film Bona follows the so-called opium of the public as it moves from religion to celebrity. People's consumption of mediated fame becomes just another of the repressive capitalist system's myriad tools for keeping the proletariat engaged and unthinking. Nora Aunor's portrayal of Bona struck an impression because her character exemplifies the systemic structure of women's subjection in a patriarchal culture like ours. Women were often indoctrinated from birth to base their existence and identity on males. They will only exercise their power and organize their resources in order to live if the patriarchal figures on whom they have relied fail or refuse to bequeath such resources. Celebrities inadvertently contribute to the continuation of the capitalist system, which is at the center of Braca's critique, by contributing in the growth of alienation and distraction. The male-supported female chastity standard was also exhibited by Bona's father, who nearly killed her after discovering she had spent the night away from home. Another incident occurred when Bona's father discovered her living under the same roof as Gardo and went into Gardo's room, compelling the latter to agree to a shotgun marriage in order to preserve his daughter's face. Both incidents demonstrate that women were viewed as commodities in those days, with their purity being their most valuable selling point. Though the film Bona was shown locally and even at the prestigious Directors' Fortnight of the 1981 Cannes International Film Festival, it first had to pass through heavy censorship from the government due to its unsavory portrayal of Filipino society, which included images of poverty and the damaged state of slum life in almost every scene. The pronounced portrayal of raw reality, as characterized by location shooting in Quiapo. The use of ordinary people's and workers' day-to-day reality, the use of non-professional actors, who, in this case, are the people themselves, and the use of documentary visual style, among other things, point to the influence of Italian neo-realist cinema in Lino Braca's Bona. Adopting the neo-realist tradition in film appears to be the dominant trend, particularly during times of upheaval or national crisis. A 1980 film cast then and now in 2022. So let's get started right away. Number 1, Nora Aunor in 1980, age 27. Nora Aunor was conceived poor. Eustaquio Villamayor, the dad, was a doorman in the Iriga Philippine National Railway Station or PNR. Antonia Cabaltera Villamayor was the housewife who sewed as an afterthought. Nora never denied her origins. This beginning imprints her profession that is continuously moving, starting with one point then on to the next. Nora has forever been on an excursion. This excursion is both a material reality and a similitude. Not that movement as analogy is exclusively her own. A long way from it, Nora's development has addressed craftsmanship and its many aspects. The excursion is shy of epic, particularly assuming one understands that in this country, social versatility is one of the numerous fantasies sustained by those in training. Nora Aunor sold water at the train station in Iriga, Camarines Sur. At the point when water was not being packaged at this point. Water being sold in transport and train stations was suspect. They could be messy, the jugs could never have been washed appropriately. Picture this extremely slight young lady, darker looking, selling her product. In a film form, this young lady could break into a tune. The elderly people coming from additional agreeable stations in life would destroy a little and grin and purchase the filtered water. The young lady, in appreciation, would start to sing, first in a delicate voice and afterward. Getting, her melody would take off over the train hurrying away from her town. That is film. In actuality, then and presently, individuals would shoo the young lady away. In any case, as in the film, the young lady selling water, she packaged herself from some mean spigot. She had a fantasy. This fantasy came from one truth that individuals around her recognized: she could sing. She sang when she was home and as she joined novice challenges. Then she made a trip to Naga to join the Freedom Big Show. The entire of Naga paid attention to the novice vocal singing challenge through the radio. Many would go to Plaza Kiosco, presently Plaza Quezon, to observe, experience the main customary amusement then in the little city of Naga. Nora endlessly won huge to her. The bring back home money was large for this youngster who was procuring little from her filtered water. The award cash, supposedly, was utilized to pay the obligation in a little sari store close to the railroad tracks. Nora Aunor in 2022, age 69. Number 2, Phillip Salvador in 1980, age 27. Phillip Salvador, an actor, remembers playing the part of a smuggler in real life for the love of his mentor, filmmaker Lino Brocka. Because of his severe criticism of the martial law system, the late national artist's films were frequently denied permission to be screened in foreign countries. Every time one of his pictures was accepted to Cannes, his performers, including Salvador and co-star Gina Olajar, had to conceal film reels in their baggage. We couldn't put more than one reel in our luggage because it would have been too heavy, and we would have been busted by the police, Salvador explained. The administration did not want the truth to be out. Artists had a hazardous existence back then. You can now save a whole movie on a USB that fits in your pocket, he explained. Brocka also liked to bring bottles of fried nuts with him on his excursions overseas. That was his preferred snacks. Salvador remembers his staunchest supporter and critic. The filmmaker who gave him legendary films like Jaguar, 1979, Bayan Co., Capit S.A. Patalim, 1984, and Ora Pro Nobis, 1989, all of which were screened at Cannes. He described his 3 vacations to the French Riviera as wonderful experiences. He said that Cannes is the most prestigious festival in the world. It was a privilege to represent our country there. Lino was the first Filipino to be recognized at Cannes, and he wore a barong with a map of the Philippines to the premiere of Bayan Co. He explained, "The premiere of the film was remarkable for Salvador. People from the rear rows hurried to the front rows to congratulate us. They continued applauding, 'Bravo! Bravo!' Even now, when I think of it, I get goosebumps. Salvador explained that after being neglected and hounded by the government, local officials had a change of heart and volunteered to host a celebration for Braca's team due to the positive response to Bayan Co. Braca, being the renegade, elected to forego the event. Instead, we went to Rome. Indeed, Braca and his colleagues paved the path for today's filmmakers, who are receiving honors and accolades at the world's most prestigious film festivals. Phillip Salvador in 2022, age 69. Number 3. Marissa Delgado in 1980, age 29. Marissa Delgado, a veteran actor, has always desired to be an actress since she was a child. So, straight out of high school in 1966, Marissa, then 16, auditioned for Artemio Marquez's Dalawang Commander SAWAC, starring Dolphy and Chiquito. She passed, and thus began her career in show business. My favorite movie was Lumuha Pati Mga Anghel, in which I portrayed Lorna Tolentino and Arnold Gamboa's stepmother, Delgado added. This film, directed by Lino Braca, awarded Marissa her first FAMAS Best Supporting Actress award in 1971. In 1972, she earned her second FAMAS Best Supporting Actress award for her performance in Till Death Do Us Part, directed by Ishmael Bernal. Marissa recently appeared on FPJ's Ang Provinciano with Coco Martin. Movie and television opportunities are few for sexagenarians like Marissa. So she decided to start a recruiting company in order to help overseas Filipino workers improve their life. She recognized that obtaining a college degree would provide her with the essential information and increase her self-confidence in operating a recruiting firm. I also chose to return to school and acquire a degree to encourage my children and grandkids, to impress upon them that nobody is too old for knowledge. Marissa explained, she was 65 years old when she received her BSBA in Human Resource Management from the University of Visayas in Cebu. Her lolo's wish for his children and grandkids also inspired her to pursue and complete a college degree. He wanted us to have our diplomas displayed at home so that relatives and friends could recognize our family's accomplishments, Marissa explained. She gave this advice to both young and old individuals. Follow your dreams. A college degree can help you get a better career and increase your prospects of advancement. A better life is more likely if you have a greater degree. Determination is required, she stated confidently. Marissa Delgado in 2022, age 71. Number 4. Raquel Montessa in 1980, age 25. Raquel Montessa and June Solar couldn't celebrate Christmas without making a visit to their Batangas beach property. In a casual conversation with Raquel after she attended Dolphy's Angel Liza Alindigan's Christmas party, a Thanksgiving event after she recovered from COVID-19, Monteza happily announced that the Kalimbahin family, June Solar's real surname from his father. Former TV actor and TV producer Virgilio Garcia has a beach resort in Batangas and that one of these days during the holiday season, the entire Kalimbahin caboodle would. It's too noisy and crowded in Manila, quipped Raquel, who isn't only a TV and film actress but an announcer in DCRH. Needed to breathe fresh air, Monteza chuckled. Raquel said they have to prepare themselves for a hectic 2022 schedule not only in showbiz but in politics as well because her eldest son Ryan Solar is running for a city council seat in Makati in the May elections. Raquel Montessa in 2022, age 66. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like and hit the bell icon. Do share the video and subscribe on this channel. Thank you.